Welcome to the Health Trip Podcast. My name is Jill Foose. I'm a functional medicine and integrative nutrition health coach. I created this podcast to bring you along as we travel down intriguing, science-packed roads, debunking old medical paradigms and perusing new innovative therapies and modalities with the finest functional medicine doctors, practitioners, and like-minded biohackers while living our best life. Enjoy the show. Hi, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Health Trip Podcast. Today, I am talking about New Year's resolutions, specifically why so many of them don't stick and what midlife women can do differently to create real, lasting change that feels attainable and move towards something that becomes intuitive. So this time of year, the pressure to improve, fix, and transform something about your health is everywhere on the internet, at local menopause events and in your local gyms. And midlife brings its own set of challenges, as you know, hormonal changes, sleep disruptions, stress load, changes in your metabolism, weight gain, responsibilities at home, and often less time for yourself. So it's no surprise that traditional resolutions fall apart quickly. But here's the good news. We actually know why resolutions fail, and we have science-backed tools to help women in midlife create change that lasts. So, why don't New Year's resolutions stick for most people? The statistics tell a clear story. Roughly 80% of the people abandon their resolutions by February. Only about 9 to 12% of people maintain them for an entire year. In women in midlife, we face even more barriers. Studies show that women ages 40 to 60 report the highest levels of chronic stress, the least sleep, and the least available time for self-care. And research from the American Psychological Association shows midlife women are twice as likely as men to prioritize others' needs over their own. I'm not telling you something you don't already know. So when you combine the stress, the low recovery time, the caregiving demands with hormonal shifts, your nervous system is already overloaded. Adding a huge, rigid resolution on top of that isn't sustainable. So resolutions rely on motivation, not structure. And motivation is a short-term emotion. It spikes in January after the holiday when most folks derail a bit during the holiday fun, but then it disappears by week 3. Behavior change science tells us that when motivation drops, systems and habits, not willpower, keep you going. Do you have the systems and habits in place for you to return to? If not, how confident are you that you can put those into play on your own? On a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being you're super confident, where do you land? And if you've been in this negative loop over the years, chances are it's going to be harder to break that cycle. Resolutions are usually too big, too vague, or too unrealistic. Get healthy, lose weight, exercise every day, eat clean. Your brain needs clarity to form habits. Instead of triggering growth, vague goals trigger overwhelm, which shuts down the follow-through. So working with a health coach who's trained in science-backed behavior change strategies will help you build tiny habits, stack habits, and eventually the habits will become intuitive to you. Your health coach is your accountability partner. And midlife physiology makes extreme changes harder. Hormonal shifts affect our sleep, our energy, our body composition, our cognition, and our stress response. So the all or nothing approach actually backfires. Research shows that women in perimenopause are more sensitive to chronic stress, and the stress hormone cortisol can disrupt the very systems they're trying to improve. So when cortisol is chronically elevated, like all day, it's impossible to achieve most of your health goals. And the resolution model doesn't account for the nervous system. Behavior change requires safety, not pressure. So when your body is in a stress-dominant state, that high cortisol, chronic elevated cortisol, it resists change, even when you want it. So midlife women often live in a constant output mode. Resolutions add pressure instead of creating the support we need. Now let's shift the focus to why some resolutions do work. They work when they follow principles of habit science. So small steps, clear cues, emotional rewards, accountability, and identity-based goals. Research from Stanford and Duke University shows that when people make tiny, repeatable shifts, the success rate increases dramatically. Most people don't naturally design their goals this way. So, which brings us to the real solution. This is why health coaching works. It's the science. Women who work with a trained behavior change coach are significantly more likely to reach and sustain their health goals. And there is science to back this up. Here are 5 of the most evidence-based reasons why health coaching works, especially for midlife women. Coaches build habits around how your brain actually forms habits. The National Board for Health and Wellness Coaching cites that structured coaching programs improve sustained behavior change by up to 80% compared with self-guided attempts. So coaches help you break goals into small steps enough that your nervous system says yes and not no. In midlife, when overwhelm is high, this is crucial. Coaches address the root causes, not just the symptoms. Midlife health challenges rarely have one cause. They often involve hormones, sleep, metabolism, stress, boundaries, mindset. Research from Harvard shows that when women develop awareness of their personal triggers and patterns, behavior change becomes predictable rather than random. Coaches guide this process. And coaching creates accountability that the brain responds to. Studies out of the University of Pennsylvania show that people with soft accountability, regular supportive check-ins, are 3 times more successful at sustaining new habits than people working alone. Accountability is not pressure. It's a collaborative partnership. Coaches help override the perfectionism that derails midlife women. Perfection is one of the top barriers to health behavior change for women ages 40 to 60. In fact, research shows that women in this age group abandon goals 50% faster when they feel that they have failed even for one day. And most of us have experienced that. Coaches help reframe lapses as data for opportunities, not failures. That shift increases persistence dramatically. Coaching aligns your health goals with your identity, not with our identity, yours, which is the most powerful driver of long-term change. Identity-based change is the most durable form of behavior change, and midlife is an identity-shifting period. Transitions in parenting, our career, partnerships, body, and sense of self. Coaches can help women define who they are becoming, not what they're just trying to change. So when goals reflect your values and your identity, your brain naturally supports the behaviors required to reach them. So as we move into the new year, remember this. New Year's resolutions don't fail because you lack the discipline. They fail because the model is flawed, not you. Midlife is actually an incredible time for transformation as long as the approach honors the realities of your body, your stress load, your nervous system, and your life. Small steps, science-backed strategies, support that matches your season of life, and a vision that feels real and personal. If you're ready to make changes that last, consider working with a trained health coach who understands behavior science and the midlife experience. You deserve support that helps you succeed instead of pushing you into a cycle of guilt and burnout. So thanks for listening. And here's to a new year built on clarity and compassion and sustainable well-being. Until next time, thanks for tuning in. Thank you for joining me. I hope you enjoyed the podcast. Lifestyle changes can be hard and overwhelming to make. By building your support team of functional medicine doctors, therapists, and health coaches, you can reach your optimal health goals. Be sure to check out my other podcasts. Until we meet again, stay healthy.